What's going on, beautiful creatures and daydreamers? Happy, happy, happy. It is Wednesday. So happy Wednesday, October 20th to all of you gorgeous beings around the world, wherever you are at. Also, you, well, gorgeous creatures, handsome beings, all of that. We look a hot mess, but today we have done a lot of problem solving and troubleshooting with some of the things that involves our work in assisting clients with getting into their accounts and everything. And we were like, well, we do so many different things. Why not show you all what life looks like for us when we are not out in the field and we're doing more technological things? As you can see, we are tech savvy, and we've in our last video fixed our mom's television and some of her other technical devices around the house. But today we will show you all again what it's like to do certain things such as regain your identity and using what is called SSO, or single sign on, for a lot of things. So for starters, we have Apple products. We've always had an iPhone. We used to have an Android, but then we moved over to iPhone, and then it wasn't until maybe 3 years ago where we finally just decided to convert into all Apple products. But you don't have to have Apple products. Apple is just a very user friendly software, even though people who are used to Android would say it's a little bit more complicated. Not really, unless you are into like the more technical savvy things such as creating. Sorry, we got an email. If we such as developing, like software developing, things of that nature, which is what we do. And that is a part of what comes with coaching with us, or me, I should say. So, yeah, let's just flip the camera around and show you all. So first, we have a bunch of tabs open. We obviously most recently were on our Twitter, which is very goofy and fun animated. It is what I like to say user friendly. We went through and cleaned up some stuff because we realized as we were correcting others' behavior that there's behavior we need to correct. So boom, boom, boom. We moved that, and this is a part of like developing with us. We go through, or me, I go through and help you out with coaching in terms of branding yourself and rebranding if you need to, going through and helping you with vlogging, creating videos, and all of that. That's what I like. But now let's just get on to the tech savvy stuff. So, at the beginning of the pandemic, everyone was going through and certifying, well, filing for unemployment and then certifying for unemployment. I will make a video detailing that and what it's like as I am like pretty much done with unemployment in terms of aiding other people, so I can utilize mine for unemployment. But as an independent contractor, I went around and I learned how to do it for different states. But the one that stands out to me most is California. And so I won't show you what California's unemployment. I started off in Chicago. So for Chicago, it's IDES is what it's called, and it stands for Illinois Department of Employment Services. Excuse me. And this is what the page looks like. Usually, as you can see, we also have our YouTube tab open, and I usually listen to rain sounds and frequencies. I also like lo-fi. Lo-fi is frequency too, but it's like a hip hop version of it. And so you would do like ca.edd.gov, and you can tell when a website is an authentic website and when it's not. Only websites that are like .gov, .edu, things of that nature, those are government affiliated, and they are government ran, and they are also surveillanced by the government. So you can tell if it's a legitimate website because of that. When it comes to .com or .org, it's a little bit harder to navigate if it's an authentic website or not. But usually websites nowadays or computers nowadays have built-in software where even if you don't pay for it, it tells you, oh, this is a website that might be a fraudulent website, or it might say something along the lines of it might be trying to impersonate another website to steal your information, blah blah blah. But yes, so those are just some key things to look out for when you are navigating through what I like to call the collective consciousness, or just in general, the internet. I call it the collective consciousness because obviously others can't see what you're viewing unless you turn on a screen, or they turn on a camera, or they come into your field and they're viewing it. Also, it's a dimension in itself, so, and you can access a lot depending on how much you know, how open-minded you are, and willing to spend navigating through things. And I've done navigation from watching videos on YouTube that were, like documentaries and different soap operas from across the globe, such as Hollyoaks and Physical Química, and I've watched both versions, the Catalina version. I've also watched the Russian version, even though it's only like one season. Everdale, I believe, is the name of it. I literally anything and everything you can name, I've watched, whether it's videos telling us how to change a tire, other life coaches who do beauty guru things, who might not do that but might do maybe like physical training, or what I like to call strength training. All of this, and please excuse the dresser up there, it looks a hot mess. But yeah, and I've done that. I've gone through, and like I said, I've done the whole software developing for Apple and whatnot. And there are a few things in terms of apps that are on the Apple Store that I have in the background helped code and maneuver and teach others what the program and software is about, to hand it off to them in order for them to continue on with things. So I've done a lot, and you would be surprised. Just because I went to school for clinical counseling and wellness and all this stuff does not mean I didn't learn these things. I mean, hell, that's why I post my entire life. And you'll be surprised what people know in terms of different skills and certifications and things of that nature. So that's just something to point out. But anyway, so back to all of this. What I was trying to get to is, yes, so when you go to EDD, if you are a beneficiary, obviously you would hit benefits login, and then it would prompt you to log in. Obviously my information's in here because I had to show people how to do this. So let's just go through and do the verification. Boom. And then you log in, and I can't receive unemployment from California just because I am employed, one, and two, I work for the government, so For me to collect these benefits, it doesn't allow me to because it'd be cross contamination. Let's just say that. So then obviously you would go to UI online, click here, if it would ever load, boom. And then you would click file a new claim. And then, oh, sorry, we have the reader, automatic reader. It'll pop up a few times and we'll just edit it out. But you scroll through, it tells you all of the information that you will need. And then you would click next. And then you go start to fill all of this out. So did you work in another state and or Canada during the last 18 months? And majority of unemployment cases, no matter what state it is, it will ask you if you have applied for unemployment or worked in another state between 12 to 18 months from the day you are applying for the unemployment. Now, then you would click next after you fill all of this out, and then this is where the nifty thing comes in, which is why I said this is a little bit different than other unemployment places. So so EDD again, it's the California version of unemployment. What they have you do is they want you to do all of that. It'll ask you to send a link. It'll ask if it can send a link to your phone for an app, and it is called ID.me. And this is what it looks like. Oh, I don't have it on my iPad. It's okay. And there's a new software update for Apple. Okay, so these are the two apps that come, and the first one is the Authenticator, which the Authenticator is what the government, or at least the sector for California, will utilize in order to verify that it is you. It is one of the most safest and secure ways for, regardless of if it is California or if it's a different state. You utilize these apps because these two apps are really great. Not only do they verify your identity by having you upload a photo of your ID, a photo or driver's license, your photo of your social security card and your bank statement. I'm sorry, not your bank statement, but your birth certificate. It also allows you to then start to go through the process of backing up all of your social media as well. And what's really great about social media is you can have like different names and handles and things of that nature because we're multifaceted and we should be creative. It's a creative outlet for us, right? Right. Okay. So from there, you can start to go through again your social media, and while you're waiting for all of that information to upload into the EDD database, you can go through and start to do what's called the two-factor security setting. And what would happen is you go online, or you could utilize your phone, or you could utilize your tablet. It's always great to have two devices, or if you want, you can just take screenshots of the QR codes for later on when you're around maybe like a trusted friend or family member, and send them over the screenshots, and then you just open up that app again and you start to go through the process of scanning those QR codes, and then it will prompt you after you scan the QR codes, and we'll show you what it looks like. Obviously ours is empty on our iPad, but you go through, you hit the plus sign, and see it says, using this app, scan the QR code on the website where you are enabling two-factor authentication. Back all of that up, then you go back to EDD, and you probably will only be able to do about 2 or 3 before this process goes through and clarifies that it verified all of your information. Now, It'll start to ask you questions like what's your address, your mailing address, what was the last place you worked, how much did you make, how many hours did you work during a week, and all of that. So it starts to ask all those verification questions. And then after all of that is said and done, it should only take about 15 to 20 minutes. If you ever need some assistance, always feel free to hit your girl up. She's always waiting. Well, I guess right now we're he. It's always they, them, their girl, okay? Because on the inside, we are a spectrum. On the outside, we're still a spectrum. We just are like a watered down version of the spectrum. But anywho, and then you'll make sure you go through and check everything. Always triple check, not double check, triple check. Make sure you have dotted all I's, crossed all T's, and slashed all X's. Just saying, baby, because it never hurts to triple check. And then you just submit everything, and it'll tell you, you will receive a letter in the mail. Depending on what state you are in, it'll say that they will be sending you a letter in the mail letting you know your determination, or we are sending you a verification code because, again, California, especially San Diego, where I'm stationed or was stationed. San Diego is a military city. Military cities are very, very, very heavily monitored. So, with that being said, it's a really great thing, but it is also a hassle because you have to jump through tremendous hoops to get to where you need to ascend in life, and it's nothing to be afraid of. It is very stressful, trust me, girl, because we had to go through it, honey. And this is year 3 we're going into, and baby, we're feeling very accomplished. We feel like an admin advisor, like we're in our junior year of college all over again, girl. Like, what? Because what? Free education is a thing. Affordable education is a thing. Yes, ma'am. Um, and without teachers, without us coaches, without us instructors, trainers, all of these, like, they're all the same thing, just different terms, just different ways of utilizing the word. um, Without us, the world wouldn't go round. But also, without y'all, the world wouldn't go round because obviously we're all teachers and students. So we teach to learn and we learn to teach because this is how we progress the human species and all other species in a positive manner. Now, that was a lot, and this video wasn't as lengthy as the other ones, but what we will say is please, 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 even if you aren't filing for unemployment, it's very, very important that you utilize the ID.me app. Because again, you can upload all of your personal data, and we know a lot of people are like, oh, technology and someone can hack it. If the government can utilize it, and I know a lot of y'all be like, I'm scared of the government. Girl, the government already know what the fuck you're doing anyway. Honey, trust us. We know. You want to know why we know? Because we are your friends and we are your family. Just saying, the ones that you should be afraid of are those negative influences, those scammers. Just saying, those who use CPNs. Because we'll just save that for another video. Anyway, okay, your girl loves you. She's out. Bye. Oh, and we're really petty because we definitely forgot to show you like ID.me on here, like the computer screen. So let's do that real quick. So this is what ID.me on the computer looks like. So you go ahead, you sign in. You hit here, hit here. I always recommend you utilizing, if you are like someone who is fluent with Google, then you can go ahead and sign in with Google. Here is everything. I know this says verified 10/20, which was today. We were so behind in verifying this, even though we got our second dose of Moderna back like May 13th of this year. So boom, and there's other things on here that I have to go through and add to my profile. But for now, I'll show you. This is what it looks like. Boom, boom, boom. And this is not congruent with my unemployment. I just, again, since I'm was stationed out in San Diego, I ended up utilizing these my San Diego address. If you are, by the way, if you are looking for an Airbnb or anything of that nature, a place to stay in San Diego, please hit your girl up. I have a few places that people can utilize to, of course, stay at, because I have a few properties, which is super awesome. And then obviously you can see your activity when you were last signed in and what it was, your cash back, your email subscriptions. But what I wanted to do is show you the logins. So you can manage the logins, and here are a few more that I have to go through and add. I still haven't. I should probably do it, but also at the same time, this stuff is for like veterans. And if you follow me on social media, you will see like my journey in terms of not only like self development, but going like you all get to see me start off with, I guess, my first few contracts, which were obviously the Army out in San Diego, as well as the Marines. I also did the Navy and the Air Force. Those videos or content, I guess, will come up shortly. But again, as you can see, and I don't really care if people see my emails just because they are heavily secured. And boom, boom, boom. And obviously, I use my work email for this one, which is great. And then also, what is really great is my wallet. Like I said, this has your IDs, and then these are the other IDs you can add to it. I will eventually put the first responder aspect in here. I haven't gotten contracted to be like, and I'll show you. This is for like police officers, firefighters, EMTs, and 911 dispatchers. Though I have certifications in a lot of areas, it definitely is not a certification for EMT or firefighting. Technically, I do because I have a degree. I technically have done law enforcement, but as an military officer, so it's a lot different. But I think for now, I would just stick with the 911 dispatcher, just because I like being on the phone and working with clients that way. Um, I do have my teaching certification. And that's the really great thing about going to school for psychology, because it's not just like, oh, I'm helping mend your psychological processing. It's more than that. Behavioral health is more than that. There's also nursing, and this one would go for anyone who has their credentials as a nurse. Um, I think doctors and can do this one as well. I don't know. I have to go through and check, but if so, that'd be awesome for me to put on my resume. And then lastly, alum. I still haven't gone through and put, because I graduated back in, what was it, April or May of this year. And then you guys get to see that journey as well on my Instagram. That's something that I'll put on my YouTube, and what it was like being up in San Francisco. Um, but yes, so there are those things. And again, I will go through and add those. Another text message. That's the really great thing about Apple products, or not even just Apple, just being in sync with all of your technology. If you have Windows, keep it at Windows. And if you have Apple, keep it at Apple. If you have Google, keep it all in Google, because it's very convenient for you to get all of your notifications in one place. But yes, this is what ID.me looks like. You all continue to secure your life and everything of that nature, because it's very important. Also, my voice is getting very raspy and very cracky. Um, it's not a bad thing. Anyway, it's not a bad thing. I like it like this. Some days it's raspy, other days it's very high pitched, depending on how I want to present my persona. So, yes, continue to do that, and we love you.